Welcome to Map Crow, the RPG art show. My name is Kyle, and today we're making a video game. Now, before you break out your torches and pitchforks, let me explain myself. I haven't given up on TTRPGs or illustration or anything like that. It is just that in my new capacity as an art professor, I need to teach lots of different things, and some of those things are going to be kind of more program software related, and I have really been struggling to find time to work on both things, both my personal practice and my stuff for school. So I'm just going to take some of the stuff I've been working on for my class and make a video out of it. And then, of course, another reason I was having difficulty making new videos is I recently contracted COVID, and that recovery process took a while, but it has gone fairly smoothly, and I am basically through it at this point. But if you hear something in my voice, that's what it is. So for today's project, I am using a handy little web tool called Bitsy. If you head over to Adam Ladeau's itch page, link in the description below, you too can get started by just going to the Bitsy Game Maker page and, having at it. This is not going to be a tutorial video, but instead sort of like a level design meditation video. So let's open up the game that I made and have a playthrough, and then we'll take a look under the hood and see how I did it. So if we hit the play button, we get "The dark sign brands the undead." Obviously, we can kind of see where we're going here. I used Bitsy to remake the Undead Asylum from Dark Souls 1. All you use in Bitsy are the arrow keys to make all of your navigation. So here we are, we wake up in our little cell, we see that little rat from the opening cutscene, and there's of course an ugly body in the middle of the floor here, but let's try to get out. It says the door is locked. All right, so if we go over here, the body is clutching a key tightly. You take it. All right, so now we can use the key. The door swings open, and we have this whole situation up here. We have messages on the ground, just like Dark Souls, that tell us attack. So we can know that we can beat up these undead monsters that are plaguing the halls of this asylum. And if we go over and look through this red green window here, it'll say you see the asylum demon patrolling the exit in the room. We can kind of tromp through the water and then up the stairs here, and bonfire lit. Okay, we open this up. Oh dear, there's a demon. So if we keep going forward, we read a message that says get away. But if we don't take that advice, the asylum demon pounds you into the ground with its mighty cudgel. You died, and it respawns you back at the bonfire. We open up the door and then instead take the advice that maybe we can get all the way through. The door is locked, so we will instead go through here and light our secondary bonfire. Okay, we can go on through here. All right, so if we kind of head through here, there's a message that says get your shield, but I'm going to ignore that and just grab that sword. A rain of arrows pierces your body from the undead archer at the top of the stair. You died, and it respawns you back at the bonfire point right here. And had I not activated this bonfire, it would have sent me back to the first one. So now I'm going to go over to the side room, grab my shield, and then walk on up the stairs, kill the archer, walk through the fog gate, and now we can see another looping path. And I could jump down here and get that first bonfire room, but instead I'm going to kind of keep going on my way here and show you the rest of this level. Now, if I try to walk up these stairs here, you dive out of the way of boulder trap. The boulder crashes down the stairs and smashes a wall open. All right, so now we can get to our good friend Oscar. A battered undead knight sits in the corner. He speaks. When thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. And he hands you the floor 2 key as his humanity fails. Oh, my. Yeah, Oscar has a rough go of it. So if we go on up here to the floor 2 key and walk through the door, we can see what's going on here. We'll just, kill a couple more undead. Drink their juicy souls, read this message, make a plunge attack while falling, and jump through the fog gate once more, and slam into the asylum demon, killing it. Victory achieved. You get the big pilgrim's key. We'll walk out the door here. And only in the ancient legends is it stated that one day an undead shall be chosen to leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords, Lordran. And that is the little end of my game. Let's take a look at all of the things that are happening. Each of these screens, if we turn on the grid, we can see it, is made out of discrete 8x8 tiles. And all of those tiles are designed in this little 8x8 grid over here. So all of our kind of like floor background tiles are going to be one color. Anything that is like can contain code is either going to be a sprite, which stays on the screen no matter what you do, but you can run dialogue and program through it by running into it with the arrow keys with your avatar. And then you have an item, which is something that disappears when you take it, and it increases some kind of inventory variable, but it can also contain all kinds of code. Over to the left in our Finder, we can kind of take a look at all of the different assets that are used in this game. So everything that you see, any bit of pixel graphic that you see on the screen is going to have a corresponding tile over here, and I made them all myself. I really enjoy pixel art and I really enjoy limited color palettes, so Bitsy absolutely scratches that itch for me. So why would anybody spend their time doing all this kind of stuff? I mean, this game isn't hard. You don't have to get good to get through my version of Dark Souls. But it's fun to make little, story games and pixel art games and kind of flex those muscles. But B, when you're playing through a game, you're kind of consuming them very, very quickly and making all kinds of different decisions. And you're not really absorbing the design wisdom that is in there. Slowing down and recreating them and translating them to a different medium that has this interactivity is a great way to kind of chew your food and really make some get those wisdom nutrients out of the experience. I don't know. I'm kind of hungry right now, so I'm sorry for all of the food analogies, but I clearly need a snack. Something that I found really interesting about this deep study of the Undead Asylum is to see just like how thoroughly jacquesed the space is. And if you've never heard that word before, I have a video explaining that. Look in the description below for jacquesing the dungeon. There's so many ways to loop back on these spaces and make all kinds of different decisions. So not only can you jump down to that first bonfire from this balcony, but you can also unlock this one-way door in the back. So you unlatch the gate and walk through, and here we are back here. So there's all kinds of ways to get back to the same location. And while there's not really any reason or tactical advantage to looping you back in this way in the Undead Asylum, this tutorial level, this opening bit of Dark Souls, is really trying to teach you what to look for in the rest of the game. So not only is it teaching you to search out for secret passages and one-way doors and different ways to get back to that spot that you were in, it is also teaching you how to look for ways to exploit the environment. And it is also kind of drip feeding you all of this information through environment design, and then also through these kind of cryptic messages, some of which the developers have put there, and then many of them, online players would have put there for you of varying worth and crassness. And then, of course, we have our final hurrah here, where we jump through the fog gate and plunge into the demon from above, killing it. And because of the way that Bitsy is laid out, it's really not an option to have like engaging combat where you're, dive rolling and using iframes and different attack animations and timing all this out. It's not really a skills-based game, but it does allow you to do a close reading of the environment and the level layout. And in fact, there are so many clues. There are so many breadcrumb trails that are leading you on your way through the undead asylum to the point where you're supposed to learn that you're supposed to jump down on top of the asylum demon. It seems developer intended. And there is this myth about Dark Souls and these kinds of FromSoft games that you're just supposed to stop whining, put the time into it, grind, and get these skills for this fictitious game, when there's actually, Dark Souls goes out of its way to teach you that if you are observant, if you're running into problems that you cannot solve over and over again, that you probably need to approach it from a different direction or look for a different solution. You're not supposed to keep hitting these hard walls over and over again most of the time. You're supposed to hit a hard wall and think, gosh, is there something I'm missing? Because usually there is. And that is the primary lesson that this whole level is designed to not only onboard you with the basic mechanics of the game, but the basic design philosophy as well, which is, if at first you don't succeed, try it again in a different way. Try a different method to get different results. I made this basically in 12 hours on one day, taking like a couple of breaks. I used Bitsy for the first time to make this game. I think it's obvious why so many teachers are using it to teach basic programming and level design. And if you are interested in this kind of stuff and you're interested in creating maps and virtual spaces, give this a try too. Embrace the limitations of Bitsy with its, minimal palette aesthetic, and you can have a great time. I'll have some links in the description below to some really interesting and useful tutorial videos that I follow along with to learn the basics of this, and then just start doing things and see if it works. And I think that will do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy this kind of diversion into video game design. I think there's a lot of crossover. Certainly I find both tabletop design and video game design interesting and rewarding as an artist. So I'm hoping that there's a lot of folks out there who agree with me. Until next time, my friends, farewell.